Hello, Level Engine here with Castlevania on the NES. So this will be a submission video for BigJon's upcoming speedrunning marathon, Speedrunners Helping Out. So this is the first Castlevania to have ever been released, in general, not just like the first Castlevania on the NES. So not much else to say. This is a gothic horror-inspired platformer featuring classic horror motifs and classic horror-themed bosses like Death, Frankenstein, Dracula, which Dracula's the final boss. Casually speaking, this is a very difficult game. From a speedrunning perspective, it's also still a very difficult game, depending on which tricks you go for. So I'm gonna start the timer now. Yeah, so this is gonna be Castlevania. Even the first level is actually one of the harder ones, but not from a casual standpoint. When trying to do the first level optimally in a speedrun, it's actually just really obnoxiously hard. There are actually up to 3 frame-perfect tricks you can try and go for in level 1 if you want to shoot for the world record. I only know how to perform one of these frame-perfect tricks. So for example, we've already missed the opportunity to go for the watch drop. So I'm going to try to force the watch drop on this screen instead. This is the right spot to let the bat die. And I'm going to use this watch for later, and I also just did some careful maneuvering to make sure I get that bat that spawned in a favorable height, so I could just boost off it to skip through them underneath like level, or stage 2. And I also just stood in this specific spot because that way the bat will just die the exact same time after you enter like stage 2 every time. And I actually got the frame perfect critical hit on the bat. So there's a glitch that if you actually deal damage and take damage both on the exact same frame, the damage you deal is significantly increased, and it's even further increased if you're on stairs. And unlike most bosses that have 16 health, the bat only has half of that. So if you line that up just right, it's a one-hit kill on the bat. Alright, so going on to level 2. Much easier than level 1 from a speedrunning standpoint, and still pretty easy from a casual standpoint as well. So I don't exactly have that much to say about level 2. It's more or less going to just explain itself. Though I will use the watch, not on this screen or the upcoming one, but the one after that. And here I'm going to take another damage boost just to get through the rest of this level faster. There's a slightly faster setup for that damage boost, but I haven't bothered to learn it. So these crushers that are coming up on this screen are one-hit kills, but I'll use the watch to freeze them in place so I can just run right through them as if they didn't even exist. Gonna take another damage boost off a flying bat, rather than having to go around and actually just deal with these bone pillars the intended way. Yeah, so damage boosting, just to reach certain areas faster, can be done, quite frankly, all over Castlevania. And let's just say that Holy Water's overpowered in this game. If you have at least a double shot in your Holy Water, it's very easy to actually just stun lock a single target with that Holy Water. Which, yeah, that pretty much includes just about almost any boss. You can stun lock with that. So the Medusa was simply unable to move anywhere, and I was just free to do as much damage as I wanted till it died. Now then, on to level 3. This is certainly a tipping point, both playing casually and also in speedrunning. There are certainly a lot of mistakes to make here, like, from both points of view. Alright, so tricky little Flea Man boost, I made it work. Just to get up that flight of stairs faster. Okay, so an enemy just randomly dropped me an invincibility potion. Granted, you didn't see it because I picked it up literally the frame it dropped, but that just allowed me to run through all the enemies on that screen. So that was lucky. That is, if you're not trying to go for the specific frame that you know would actually drop you the item you want. Because when it comes to drops, they're not random, they're based off an internal frame counter that's running, so if you just kill an enemy on a certain frame, it will drop something. Didn't get any special drops on this screen, so I just had to make do with what I had, and I did just fine. Still making, honestly, pretty good time right about now. Alright, coming up to, like, stage 9 here. Bridge full of birds and bone pillars and even a few bone-throwing skeletons, so should definitely try and be careful here. That was honestly a little wonky. Just gonna make sure I don't get hit by that fireball and just waste a couple frames to make sure it doesn't go wrong. Got 2 hearts. I'll just try and line this up properly. That's not good. That could have been faster, it could have been slower. What I was trying to go for was just kill the mummies on top of each other with a cross-throw, because there's another glitch in this game, and it tricks the cross into thinking that it hasn't actually hit something when it hits one mummy. So it thinks, or it forgets that it hit the other mummy. So what happens is, it's dealing 1 point of damage per frame to each of the mummies, alternating until both die in like a quarter of a second. And now, on to level 4, where I'm going to shoot for the cave skip. If I miss this, it takes 6.5 seconds extra time to complete the run. If I get this, then of course that's good. I may or may not get the cave skip, I'm definitely going to go for it. This might be good. Got the cave skip. Yeah, there's a visual cue I use with freezing time at a specific moment. I mean, I look at the fishman and his feet relative to, like, the position of one of the candles to the left of me to just tell whether or not I'm gonna get this cave skip. Which I did hit, by the way. And now then, on the Fleaman Alley. This is just a matter of just memorizing where all the Fleamen are gonna spawn. And if an axe drops, or anything else you don't want, just don't grab it. I mean, I want to use this holy water on Frankenstein, so I don't want to just switch on over to an axe by accident, which clearly won't happen. The axe didn't drop. Yeah, it's mainly just memorization, and unless you know exactly how to do that, like, the same way every time, also watching out for an axe drop. Because if you can just kill all the Fleamen on specific frames where you know an axe won't drop, then you'll never see an axe, basically. Just gonna stun lock Frankenstein here. Okay, I didn't mean to stop the timer. We gotta keep the timer going. The run's not over yet. Still 2 more levels to go. Level 5's a sort of a walk in the park from a speedrunning perspective. I mean, you have the holy water with at least a double shot on it, assuming all has gone well up to this point. There's not too many crazy tricks to go for. I mean, there is actually a faster way to take that boost up the stairs that I didn't go for. Yeah, so unless you decide to go for some really tricky strategies on this stage here, then it's probably one of the easier levels of speedrunning Castlevania, to be honest. Let this jump, then jump, throw holy water, get rid of both Fleamen. Watch drop behind me that I obviously don't want to get, so dropping it back there is good. Not getting stuck with it. Alright, so more damage boosts coming up, just to get through the game faster. Yeah, so I'm honestly not gonna have too much else to say about level 5 here. Since there's not much else I'm really gonna have to worry about going wrong. I mean, I just do a bunch of the easy strats on level 5, and it's usually good enough just to still get a very fast clear time on it. I'm just gonna let this bone pillar hit me. It's possible to just throw a holy water at it and then just sneak past it like unscathed if your holy water throw is done just right. but I don't really feel like going for it. It's barely a time save at all if you can pull that off. And if I know exactly what I'm doing to set up the stun lock for death, I'm not gonna need any extra health anyways. Yeah, I got the stun lock going just fine, so I'm not gonna need the extra health anyways. Just like the other bosses that are vulnerable to that, I'm gonna stun lock death with holy water and not let them do anything, basically. That's why I said this is easy, because you have the holy water going into this stage. Alright then, on to level 6. So first things first, there's the bat bridge. But you can get the bats to do the same thing pretty much every time if you just copy your movements between, like, all your different runs. If you just do the same movements on the bridge every time, it's really no hassle. Most of the time, anyways, it's no hassle. If you just always do the same movements every time. Jump this one. And then I'm gonna take some more damage boosts off of bone-throwing skeletons here. Like so. And then another one coming up. I guess in case something does go wrong, I'm gonna grab this safety meat in the wall here in this clock tower portion of, like, level 6. Freeze time again to stop these eagles and flea men from doing anything until I get up these stairs. And one will shortly be taking Dracula on. Gonna try to go for another frame-perfect critical hit just to do another damage transfer. Again, I'm gonna try to just go for the exact 60th of a second that I did for the bat. This time for, like, one of Dracula's fireballs. First things first, I need the setup for the first cycle. Okay. Well, it's not happening. Well, I actually whipped too late there, so... I'm just gonna finish off Dracula normally at this point. Unless I get some really unfortunate spawns, that is. Just gonna finish Dracula off normally. Guess I won't be, like, doing extra damage with, like, a well-timed whip crit. Yeah, if you let the fireball, like, hit you on the same frame you're hitting Dracula in the head, then you do, like, an extra 5 damage. This might be 12 minutes on the nose. And time. Okay. Alright, so that's Castlevania for the NES. If I know what I'm doing, you can expect me to do it in 12 minutes. Of course, with a critical hit on Dracula's head to do like 5 extra damage, I could have definitely seen myself pulling off a 3 cycle instead of a 6 cycle. And that would have been significantly faster. I mean, I still definitely wanted to work on that critical hit on Dracula. I mean, it just always feels so good to pull that off. Yep, and this is basically the credits. Well, the joke credits for Castlevania. Yeah, these are just homages to, like, stars in various horror-themed media. Yeah, for example, we got Bela Lugosi. Supposed to be, like, referencing Bela Lugosi. I think he, like, played the role of Dracula or something. In some play, he did the role of Dracula. Boris Karloff, is that supposed to be, like, Boris Karloff? I think that has something to do with Frankenstein's monster. And the list just goes on and on. And yes, you can do a second quest in Castlevania, but I never really did the second quest. Especially not, like, in a speedrunning perspective, so... I'm just going to end the video here, so thanks for watching, everybody, and good night.